Welcome to the Trump Breaking News Network, your daily source for up-to-the-minute Trump news. Join us today and every day. Here's today's news.
This is TBNN.
MSM Touts new poll showing record Obamacare support, ignores 14-point Dem Oversample. By Tyler Durden. Throughout the day the mainstream media will undoubtedly be informing you about a new poll from the PewResearchCenter, PRC, that concludes that support for Obamacare has surged to new record highs in recent months just as Republicans in Congress get set to repeal and replace the legislation. How convenient. We, on the other hand, would like to inform you that, in reality, there is no news to be reported as a result of PRC's latest work, but rather just another rigged poll that utilized an aggressive 14.4-point Democrat oversample to goal-seek a desired result. But don't take our word for it, here is the sampling data as presented by PRC. Somehow we suspect that if Democrats really enjoyed a 14.4-point advantage among registered voters that Donald Trump would not be occupying the White House right now. But maybe the Russians are just that good. But, if the sampling data above isn't quite egregious enough to convince you of its fakeness, below we present to you the survey methodology of PRC's previous Obamacare poll, conducted just 2 months prior to the current one. Notice that the sampling advantage for Democrat, lean Dem pool in this poll was 4.7 points lower than the poll above. And to our complete shock, this poll showed Obamacare's approval rating roughly 6 points below the poll above at 48%. Shocking. Less Dems equals less support for Democrat policies. So did the number of registered Democrats surge nearly 5 points in just over 2 months? Somehow we sincerely doubt that. But it was a very nice try. And that's how you engineer trends like this where widely held historical opinions suddenly shift dramatically in a matter of weeks. Except they didn't. And, even though we find the data to be largely useless due to the obvious sampling bias, here is a quick review of the conclusions drawn by PRC which will frequently be drilled into your head by the likes of CNN, MSNBC, NBC, ABC, throughout the day. Apparently a record high 54% of voters now suddenly approve Obamacare even though PRC's own historical polling data shows that a plurality of voters have pretty much always disapproved of the legislation since its passage in 2010. Currently, 54% approve of the health care law passed 7 years ago by Barack Obama and Congress, while 43% disapprove, according to a national PewResearchCenter survey conducted February 7 to 12 among 1,503 adults. Throughout the law's history, opinions about the Affordable Care Act have tended to be more negative than positive, or, less frequently, divided. As recently as December, about as many approved, 48%, as disapproved, 47%, of the law. The new survey finds that when those who disapprove of the law are asked about what should happen to it now, more want GOP congressional leaders to focus their efforts on modifying the law than on getting rid of it. 1 in 4 adults want Republican leaders to modify the law, while 17% want them to get rid of it entirely. Meanwhile, approval among independents also surged in PRC's latest poll even though we prove above that the surge is easily explained by the oversample of independents that lean Democrat. Nice try, but nobody's buying it.
That's the news. Join us here every day. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell. See you next time.
This is TBNN.